This is Michael Reardon from Compass Community Center, and I am joined by my coworker, Jacque Jamason from the Mental Health Department. And Jacque is an avid cyclist, actually takes care of herself and stuff like that. And this year she's participating in the Smart Ride once again. And so I thought I'd ask her to join us to talk a little bit about the Smart Ride and why it's so important. So Jacque, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
So Jacque, that's the first question that I have. Why is the Smart Ride so important to you?
The Smart Ride dollars, and I didn't know this prior to a couple of years ago, impact so many people's lives. The individuals that I work with who are living with HIV and AIDS, some of them long-term survivors, more than 20 years, aren't able to get some of their needs met through general funds. And especially with COVID here, there are so many needs in our community and in the HIV and AIDS community. But some of the things that these dollars do to help people living with HIV and AIDS are life-changing. I have a client that I've been working with for several years, and he has had trouble hearing for more than 10 years. And through the Smart Ride dollars, he was able to receive hearing aids. And he said he didn't realize how much he was missing out on in life. So when I'm writing, I think about the people in our community and in the HIV and AIDS community who really benefit from our writing. And it's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of energy around it. But at the end of the day, these dollars go to the individuals in our community who really need it for housing and basic needs that they otherwise probably wouldn't be able to receive.
Thank you. I'm with you. When I first started working at Compass and heard about this thing, the Smart Ride, everybody's like, oh, well, it's a 165-mile bike ride from Miami to Key West. I was like, people ride bikes that far? Like, I don't drive that far. And then I heard all of the good that this money goes and does in the community, and stories like that. And you're absolutely right. And that touched me. I hadn't heard that one before, so I'm like, oh, so that's so important. And you're right. So why is it more important ever this year? I mean, obviously you mentioned COVID is on everybody's minds. And it was one of the hardest decisions I think that we've ever needed to make as Compass about some of our own events, but working with the Smart Ride and Glenn and the executive team of the Smart Ride, they really, in my opinion, they made the right choice to kind of reimagine the Smart Ride this year and move to local venue or local areas to do this year. So why is it so important that it just wasn't outright canceled? Why is it important that we're actually doing it this year, even though it's different? Why is it important?
It's more important now more than ever because so many people have been impacted by job loss, and they've been maybe really struggling with making ends meet. And I tell you, a lot more people from my perspective have been able to get involved that maybe otherwise wouldn't have because it's local. And so I don't know if this Reimagined will continue in some way in addition to regular Smart Ride in the future. But for instance, we have developed an entire new team. And those women that are participating this year wouldn't have been able to ride from Miami to Key West. And not only that, a lot of local community groups and organizations are able to participate as well. And I think that the dollar amount that we will be able to raise will reach more people, hopefully. But yeah, now more than ever, especially with the pandemic, it's just really important for our community to pull together to continue to provide support for people living with HIV and AIDS. You know, a lot of money probably is going towards pandemic, and it's really important for us to continue to remember that HIV and AIDS was an epidemic in and of itself. And, you know, we need to continue with prevention and treatment and education. And so through the Smart Ride, we can do that.
Thank you. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize that money raised from the Smart Ride goes 100% back to the benefiting agencies because of the amazing job that they do to get sponsorship for the ride itself. So we get 100% of the funds raised back to the community, to the 6 agencies in Florida. And it's really important, just like you said, I mean, COVID, which is also very important, but the rest of the world doesn't stop just because COVID is there, and there are still people out there. There are many people, actually, especially in South Florida, another reason why this is so important, who are living with HIV and AIDS, and not only them, but their families. So that money comes back to us, and it can only be spent on HIV AIDS related services, which is something that I don't think people understand. And it's a huge, huge deal for us. So thank you. So I really have like just kind of maybe a couple more questions, and I want to kind of switch to you personally. So when the ride got switched, and the other thing I wanted to say is you're absolutely right about more people being able to participate. We're anticipating that, and we're excited about it. Yeah. So we're kind of, you know, silver linings. This is opened up the Smart Ride to so many people who over the years have looked and be like, oh, well, I can't go down there and upload and download a truck, or I can't ride 165 miles. But this year, you know, they can do anything to participate. So that's really cool. But so that being said, you are a serious cyclist and you train, and you've posted on Facebook and your social medias a lot of fun videos of some of the things that you're doing this year. Would you mind explaining just talking about your training and where those videos came from and why you're having so much fun with them?
Yes, sure. So first of all, you can find all of my videos that Michael is talking about on Facebook. My page is public, and it's JACQUELYN, JAMASON. It's a public page, and you might have to scroll through my timeline, but I did some fun videos. My birthday was last month in September, and I turned 48, and so I really tried to wrangle some people together to participate in doing 48 of something, kind of like the Smart Ride did 165 of something, and to get people active and thinking about health and wellness. And it's really important, especially during this time, to remember that we can get up out of our seat and go walk around the block, or take our dog for a walk, or stand up and stretch. And that gets the endorphins going, and it helps us to feel better. So that's really important for our mental health. I will tell you that I was not a cyclist until about 2.5 years ago. And my team, the Wanderers, got me, they tricked me into registering for the Smart Ride. And about 3 weeks to a month before, I jumped on a bike for the first time, and I rode 165 miles. And some interesting things happened on that ride, but we made it. And here I am, 2.5 years later, and I absolutely love it. It has changed my life and the way I think about health and wellness. And I ride for the people who can't. I mean, there are a lot of people who, are unable to walk around the block or ride a bicycle, and I'm able to do that. And so I feel like it's my responsibility to do that.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I saw you doing this at first. If you're 48, I really didn't realize that. I almost don't believe it. Good for you. It's making me think I might need to start cycling. But that's when I saw the videos and you having so much fun, and I was like, okay, this is again, we're in this situation where none of us possibly imagined, but the spirit endures, human spirit endures, and you certainly have been an example of that at Compass. and we're really, really happy that you're, a part of this event. And I mean, you predate me with it, so I'm being all like, "Ooh, I'm really happy to be part of it." But it's amazing what you've done. So I guess the last thing that I wanted to ask is just, are there any last messages or anything that you'd like to say to anybody who's considering participating this year or donating this year? Like, what would your last message be to them in this conversation?
Right. So I would say, it can be kind of intimidating to think about registering, but it really is so easy. thesmartride.org. If you jump on the website and hit the register button, it's only $35. And then, if you have a network, the way I like to think about it is, if you have 200 people in your social network, social media, or people that if everyone donates $1, you've raised a couple $100. And sometimes it seems overwhelming to think, oh, I have to, here's another thing I have to go on, and I have to register, and I have to do this, and I'm not really a writer. And the thing is, that's okay. Just by you registering as a writer, which is $35. And for some of us, that's a few Starbucks drinks a week that we shouldn't be drinking. It raises money and awareness, not only for the Smart Ride because of you, but then if you are able to share that with your loved ones and your friends on social media or however you're able to do that, it raises awareness. And it may what's the word I'm looking for? Encourage others to register for the Smart Ride, and it raises so much awareness in the community. I mean, I have people who live all over the country, and they don't live here, but they're willing to help us out. So I would just say, really consider that. You can ride your bike in your living room. If you have a stationary bike, you can walk, you can, I even had someone said, does it count if I get in and out of my recliner to get my remote? I said, if you want to do that for, 165 seconds, that's perfect. Send us a video. So there are a lot of different ways that you can contribute.
Thank you, Jackie. That's perfect. Absolutely. I agree with everything you said. This is a different year. I keep saying that. We all keep saying that. It's been reimagined. But it really does. It opens it up to everybody and their own comfort levels, their own abilities. You were saying the controller, I thought instead of 165, I thought you said, 165 times. I was like, I can do that. I can reach for a TV controller.
Well, I was looking in my mind for the least amount of intimidation.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it really is, even Netflix and chilling, that's how many things, how many times I want to keep scrolling to find something to watch.
I mean, if you want to register and eat 165 pieces of popcorn and let us know about that, that would be fantastic.
I agree with you, and I can do that. Now you're speaking my language.
That's right. There we go. Everyone can register this year.
Yeah, I'm pumped up, and that's right. And not only did is the registration fee a bit less, but the requirement to raise a certain amount of money has been waived this year. So literally any amount that anybody out there either raises themselves or donates is going to change somebody's life. Just like Jackie said earlier in this interview about the person who got the hearing aids, and it just opened up the world to them. Jackie, thank you so much for doing this with me. I know that you're busy and you have you've had an exciting day. So thank you for taking the time to be here.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone.
All right, everyone. Goodbye.